Good day. Our discussion today will talk about global citizenship. And then we start our discussion by raising a question. Does global consumer culture influence global citizenship? And then we're going to explore the role of ethnocentric consumerism. And then we also explore cultural intelligence. Then take a look at the slide. Our today discussion based on my research, which published at the International Journal of Sociology and Social Policy. The research title linking global consumer culture and ethnocentric consumerism to global citizenship. This research basically attempt to explore the impact of global consumer culture and ethnocentric consumerism on global citizenships. To understand the complicated relationship among the three concepts, the three variables, the study explore the mediating effect of cultural intelligence. What is global citizenship? Global citizenship is actually the argue that everyone on Earth is supposed to develop a worldwide networks. It's with a value in order to meet their stream, the specific condition as humans. Of course, the specific condition has been emerging, and the condition has been developed from in the past. It may be just focused on income per capita or gross domestic product and human development, and then right now it's become sustainable development goals. For global consumer culture, it's argued that it's about how consumer become membership of global citizenship by purchasing the product with a worldwide cultural symbol. So it's about consumption of a product with a global cultural symbol. And then the conventional wisdom of globalization stated that international trades help country to enhance their income generating capacity, and then become essential prerequisite for achieving sustainable development goals. Then returning to ethnocentric consumerism. Ethnocentric consumerism is a counterpart of global consumer culture. It raises a paradox that spring from the neoliberal politics. So it is argued that we should not buy product of the competitor or other country. Ethnocentric consumerism is come to various levels. Which one of them call for empirical study to provide a solid foundation to understand the global consumer culture. The last concept that we discussed about cultural intelligence. Cultural intelligence refers to act in specific way to deal with the various culture. It's about the capability to deal with the diversity, cultural diversity. And then people in more multi-ethnic space societies tend to be experience intercultural contact compared to people in more ethically homogeneous ones. Then we debut hypothesis. Hypothesis one, we propose that global consumer culture has a positive impact on global citizenship, because global consumer culture encourage young people to become global consumer by purchasing the product with a given global cultural symbol. And then this imply on multicultural identities. And then concept of consumer culture cover not only the consumption of material product, but also identity and live experience of consumption, which involve the interaction between consumer and brand, company, and market institutions. The second hypothesis, the study argued that global consumer culture also influence cultural intelligence. It means that globalization has brought cultural integration into a business environment, which can lead the citizenship or the consumer to experience a deep-rooted class prejudice. And then it is essential to develop the capability to bridge the different internalized culture. Those who adopt global citizenship behavior by developing the capacity to admire, those adopt global citizenship behavior by developing their capacity to admire shared across border culture. So this is the way they adopt global citizenship behavior, because adopting their capacity to admire shared across border. And then these are the third hypothesis state that ethnocentric consumers tend to reject global citizenship. It means that the higher ethnocentric consumerism, the lowest global citizenship, of course, with a given global cultural symbol, there's a negative effect on easy toward willingness to buy foreign products. It means that ethnocentric consumerism support the protectionism, especially support by, and that's conducted by government and the consumer. The fourth hypothesis states that ethnocentric consumerism have a negative impact on cultural intelligence. It means that ethnocentric consumerism is a phenomenon with consumer preference for prejudice against imported products. So the ethnocentric campaigns attempt to protect local jobs. Previous studies suggest that the relationship between ethnocentric consumerism and cultural intelligence tend to be negative. The hypothesis 5 argue that cultural intelligence has a positive impact on global citizenship. Cultural intelligence is about promote global citizenship. It's become essential for the development of any globalization nations. And then consumer with high cultural intelligence will be able to understand the challenge of cross culture by enhancing the capability to engage in adjustment behavior. And then we argue that strong cultural intelligence provides support to promote global citizenship, including appropriate environmental behavior, and which in turn force social exchange relationships to lead pro-social behavior by triggering moral obligations. Okay, to answer the hypothesis, the study conducted online survey at individual consumer level with the cluster randomized sample and additional snowball sampling. The cluster approach concerned on 5 cities in Indonesia. So communicative techniques and applications are considered essential to increase response rate. That's why we expecting snowball sampling to increase the response rates. And then the researcher also send email to each respondent and asked them to fill out the questionnaire with Indonesia translations. So this is the measure. You can see that the global consumer culture consists of 3 items. There are actually 10, but after factor analysis, we identified 3. The first one is I identify with the famous international brand. I pay attention to famous worn by people in my age group that live in other country. While global citizenships said that how various culture in the world interact socially, I believe that I am connected to people in other country and so on. Secure behavior, we talk from Ang and Van Dines. I change verbal behavior when a cross-cultural interaction required. I use pause as silent difference to switch different cross-cultural situations and so on. And ethnocentric consumerism, I believe that Indonesia people always buy Indonesian-made product instead of import. Because it's conducted in Indonesia, we change the name of country. I should purchase product manufactured in Indonesia instead of letting other country get rid of us. Okay, this is the findings. We test the collinearity. We also conducting the test, statistical tests like means, standard deviations. The average of respondents, cognitive intelligence of respondents is a 4. It's because the Likert scale from 1 to 7. And at the say consumerism, so the highest one is ethnocentric consumerism and global consumer culture. And from alpha, we argue that we indicate that all of the latent variables higher than 0.7. Same with the KMO. As a Bartlett test stated the 4 latent variable is relevant for the factor analysis. And then this is the path analysis. We identify that most of the item, most of the variable is significant. Only global consumer culture to global citizenship is not significant. with standard with coefficients minus 0.009 and standard error 0.029, and then the probability is 0.761. The rest is significant at alpha 1%. So it's easy to take a look at the path. You can see that here, ethnocentric consumerism has a positive impact on global citizenship. Global consumer culture is not significant actually here. So we can say that the impact is negative, no. And then the impact of global consumer culture has impact positively on cultural intelligence. So this is the one, that is the relationship. The item also support the latent variable. This is the one. This is the error one. This is the factor analysis one, the result of our loading factor. Also, the loading factor also higher than 0.6. This is the one, 0.6, and all significant unless that one. So figure 1 show that among the three constructs, CQ has more substantial effect on global consumer culture. You can see here 0.44. This is the highest ones. The coefficient, the highest of coefficient is CQ to global consumer culture. Then followed by AC and global consumer culture. So it is advisable for any effort to promote sustainable development to focus on cultural intelligence that positively influence global citizenship. Figure 1 also indicate that some item with indicator weights that need to be taken into account, like that one. So the smallest is 0.14 from global consumer culture to global cultural intelligence. If you can see that ethnocentric consumerism has a higher coefficient than global consumer culture to cultural intelligence. Then for global consumer culture, CCQ show that lifestyle is almost the same as people of my social class in other countries has the highest coefficient of 0.88. So we can see here, this is the one. This is the highest ones. So for the variable, the highest one is CC2. CC2 is mean lifestyle. Same with others. I purchase product from Indonesia for AC2. AC2. This is AC2. 0.78. Okay, and then theoretical implication, we said that people with ethnocentric consumerism tend to promote global consumer by involving cultural intelligence. They usually come to contradictory conclusions from the previous study, which argued that an individual with high ethnocentric consumer become less cultural intelligence. And then the finding indicate that the people with ethnocentric consumerism tend to have high cultural intelligence. So this result can support from the previous study about consumer simultaneous identity, the product and the service with a national identity. The second implication for theoretical concept, this study confirmed the role of cultural intelligence in consumer cultural theory by concluding that global consumer culture does not lead to better global citizenship. Still, CQ is what makes the difference. The cultural intelligence of the individual of the diverse teams determine whether global consumer culture promote cultural global citizenship. And then consumer with high global cultural intelligence can manage the consumption culture to come up with the global citizenship. It's from global citizenship awareness, cultural diversity, social justice, and environmental sustainability. For managerial implication, we argue that practically global citizenship in marketing activities determine the level of global market integration. Consumer with potential interest could be a targeted market for global marketer as well. We argue the thing who attempt to transform the contemporary markets. And then maintaining the high level of cultural intelligence can help the effort to promote global consumer ethics. Okay, thank you.